Hi, this is Brandon from ThirstGym.com. Today we're talking about exercise called the short-seated Arnold press. Now, this is a great exercise for your shoulders and some upper body strength, but at the end of the day, we're also going to improve some mobility as well. So I've got a small box here that I can sit on, and this is going to get me around 90 degrees, give or take, even slightly under. The more mobile you are, the lower you want this box to be. So we'll talk about the short-seated position on the floor a little bit, but I'm super immobile about my hips, so this is where I'm going to perform this exercise, if not a slightly lower box, if I really wanted to challenge myself. So from a short seated position though, the goal here is to have the hips below the knees, which I still am. My feet are flat, knees are forward, okay? Now, something you can do to help your athletes is they have an object to squeeze. So we've got some little balls like a football, dodgeball, something like that, that's gonna create some adductor facilitation. And what that's going to do is as they squeeze that, that's going to open the pelvic outlets back here, which is going to create some space, which is then really going to make our abs turn on a lot. So it's really going to get our pelvis underneath this and a posterior tilt, adductors engaged. That's going to let that pelvis open up. And then what we can do from there, now we can do our Arnold work, okay? So I'm going to take the dumbbells here in an Arnold position. Again, I can feel my upper back already being expanded because of just the seated position that I'm in. And then we're going to press overhead and then back. Really trying to rotate, feet are flat, feeling my sit bones, feeling my abs. And especially as I come here, I can really feel my backside open up. Perform my reps, feel my abs, my shoulders, feet are always flat, pressing to the ground, knees are always together, okay? We never want to sit out like this, okay? Now, from a true short-seated position, which I will do my best, if you got somebody that moves really well, what you're going to do, I'm going to give you kind of a side profile here. You're basically going to be in a sit-up position, okay? So feet are still flat. We're in this sit-up position, but as you can see, my knees are having to drip out for me to create this position. Ideally, they need to be squeezed together, but if I do that, I have to lean backwards because I don't have the hip mobility. This is too much hip flexion that I just don't have, okay? I don't have enough hip flexion to do this exercise properly, but I'm going to do my best. So here, Arnold position, press up, and then come down. Now, as I bring the dumbbells here, it helps open my backside up, which lets me sit forward a little bit more. But again, my knees are still too far out for it to be correct. And as I go to press, I got to bring my neck forward. You can see all the compensations I'm having to do to create that movement that I didn't have to do with the box. Okay, so the big takeaway here is that you find the depth of the short-seated position that fits your client, your athlete ideally. The goal is to get them to 90 degrees or less to be in a short-seated position, but get that box as low as you comfortably can, so long as they can keep their feet flat, knees forward in line with their hips. Again, use some adductor facilitation if you need to, and then also making sure as they're going to press overhead, they're not having to really shrug up like I was doing there to try to get the dumbbells together, because again, I just don't have the range of motion, so my body's going to compensate to get that weight overhead whatever way I can, and that's a really hard shrug so that my scapulas can actually come around my rib cage enough just so that I can get here, okay? Or here rather. So use what you need, find the height that fits well for you, use the dumbbells that works well. Again, this is kind of a mobility-based exercise, but getting some upper body strength in there as well. So I really like this from 8 to 12 reps for most people. Anything too heavy, it just doesn't work as well as we want it to. And if you go too light, it can be a little bit more of like an endurance race. So in that good, sweet hypertrophy range, and the goal is to use the load to open the backside up, get the hips feeling better, still train the shoulders and the arms a little bit so we can still get some quality accessory work. So if you got any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks. Have a great day.